Peace, everybody. Welcome back to another practice. My name is Ben, and it's a blessing to be here. So let's go ahead and get started in a downward facing dog. As you come into your down dog, be a little bit explorative, a little bit animalistic. I like to do down dog with a nice deep bend into the knees to allow the hip bones to tilt up toward the sky. Imagine the side bodies could stay long. Imagine the spine could stay long. So if you feel rounding in your back, just bend the knees a little bit and then scoop the tailbone to the sky. From downward facing dog, tiptoe the feet to the top of your space, forward fold. As you get here, halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Try to find this upside down uppercase L, meaning the spine is completely flat. So the same thing as down dog. If you feel your spine rounded, maybe bend the knees a little bit, tilt the tailbone back, and find your long, low back. And take an inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Inhale, stretch up to the sky. Press down through the feet. Stay strong in the legs. Exhale, bring hands through heart center. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend. Exhale, plant the palms down, step back to plank pose. As you get to plank pose, breathe here as you push the ground away. Feel the shoulder blades protracting, moving away from the spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and scoop the hips up for downward facing dog. A couple breaths in your down dog. Just getting right into things today. But of course, you're practicing in the comfort of your own space, so adjust the pace as desired. Lift the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. We're going to step through, but use the left ankle to step through. So really come onto the left tippy toes. Let that give you a little bit more lift to thread the right foot through. Drop the left knee down to the mat behind you. Lift the arms up to the sky. Grab opposite elbows. I like to have a little sway in the hips here in this first lunge, just kind of bouncing up and down a few times, or forward and back, however you want to consider that. And instead of being lazy into the legs, we can create activation by pushing both feet down into the mat. So the top of the left foot is pressing down behind us, and the bottom of the right foot is pressing down in front of us. And from that foundation pressing down, our upper body gets to lift up. Let's take a full breath in. Exhale, fingertips down. Pyramid pose. Pull the hips back, straighten through both legs. And when I say straighten, it's relative. You can fully straighten the leg if you want, or you can keep a sizable bend in there. And really we see the same theme in all these poses. So I said in down dog and in half lift. If you feel a super deep round in the spine in pyramid pose, bend into your knee, tilt the tailbone or the sitting bones up and back, and you'll find more length, more authenticity into the pose, and more integrity into what the pose is actually trying to achieve. High crescent lunge from here. Bend into the right knee, lift the arms up, grab opposite elbows just like we did in the low lunge with our knee down. Stay high onto the left toes behind you and feel the stretch in the front left hip flexors, or the back left hip flexors, I should say. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step back to plank pose. From plank pose, lower through chaturanga, with or without your knees on the ground. Upward facing dog, take an inhale. Downward facing dog, take an exhale. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, press through the feet, lift the arms to the sky. Bring the hands through the heart, exhale. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plank pose, step both feet back. Chaturanga, lower halfway. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. From down dog, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Step through, but remember, come high onto the right tippy toes. Use the ankle as the pedal, which gets you there. Drop the knee down. Lift the arms, grab elbows. Shift around a little bit. Feel the natural tightness that exists in our hips. At least if you're like me, you certainly feel that. But that's one nice thing about the yoga practice. We get to take our bodies, which can often be wound up, tightened up, like a ball of string or yarn wrapped around itself. And we can start to unwind that ball of string. Bring the hands down, or fingertips down rather, for pyramid pose. Shorten your stance if you like to. Keep a bend in your knee if you like to. Where your hands are is your choice. You can reach the arms in front of you. What can be interesting is reaching the hands far further back behind you. High crescent lunge, bend into the left knee, sweep the arms up, grab elbows if that felt good before, and try to find your opposite forearm on top. I'm kind of shifting around to try to remember. And then you can find an interesting back bend by lifting the forearms off of the back of the head. So if you have the forearms just sitting on the head, see if you can lift the forearms up and away from the head. And then take an inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step back to plank and then flow from there. So maybe there's a chaturanga, which lends its way into an upward facing dog. Keep the legs active in your up dog. Engage the thighs. Sweep it back to down dog. From down dog, inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or walk or hop, top of the mat, fold. Inhale, half lift, spine elongates. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to the sky, strong in the legs. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plank to chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, pull the knee in, step all the way through. Drop the knee down, reach the arms up. Take your lunge, grab opposite elbows. That's kind of the bind that we're working today. And that's because when we reach the arms overhead and when we grab elbows, it really brings the lungs to the front. It kind of forces us without having to decide. Kind of forces ourselves to open the front body and find a subtle back bend and to open the shoulders and all these things that can be a nice counter to the rest of our lives when we're rounding in and we're closing in on our lungs and we're hunched over. Pyramid pose, bring the fingertips down, straighten the legs, pull the hips back in space. High crescent lunge, bend into the knees. This time, reach the arms up for a Kali Mudra. Interlace all fingertips except for thumb and first finger, and then reach the thumbs back in space. If you want to, bend the elbows and try to keep the biceps in towards the ears. Take an inhale, look slightly up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Move through your flow. So maybe there's a plank to chaturanga to up dog, or maybe you want to skip the flow and just go right back to down dog. Either way, left leg to the sky. Step the left foot through, use the pedal of the right ankle. Drop the right knee down, lift the arms up, and breathe. Grab opposite elbows if you want. Take an inhale. Exhale for pyramid, fingertips down. Find your hamstrings stretch. High crescent lunge, bend into the left knee, lift the arms, find a Kali Mudra. Interlace all fingers except thumb and first. Lean back, bend the elbows, keep the biceps in. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground, plank to chaturanga. Let it flow. From down dog, inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, take a journey top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky, stand up. Exhale, bring the hands to your heart. Inhale, stretch arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step both feet back, and it's your flow from there. Plank to chaturanga or anything else that you'd like to move through. From down dog, pause, take 2 breaths. Shift around a little bit if you like. And then from down dog, right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Step the right foot all the way through. Same lunge, drop the knee down, lift the arms, grab the elbows, unless you have another arm variation that you prefer. And now that we've done this a couple times, we're starting to feel things open. We can land in the posture and find freedom. Instead of maybe those first round or second round where we're kind of just creating space, it doesn't feel like there's true freedom quite yet. Bring the hands down, find your pyramid. Same thing with the pyramid, we're starting to feel the hamstrings open up. What a nice thing. High crescent lunge, bend into the knee, lift the arms up. Try to find a longer stance in your lunge. Find the Kali Mudra. Lift the arms back in space, open through the heart, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank, and then flow from there. Chaturanga into up dog, or anything else goes. From down dog, left leg to the sky. Step the left foot all the way through. Drop the knee down, lift the arms, grab the elbows. Take 2 or 3 breaths. Little micro movements, or you can be in stillness if you prefer. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips to the mat, pyramid pose. Remind your left quad muscles that they can join the party. High crescent lunge. Bend into the left knee, lift the arms to the sky. Kali Mudra, grab the fingertips. Open, reach the arms back. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back, and flow your way, eventually, back to downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, let's lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or take a little spring to the top of the mat. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, and flow from there. From down dog, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through, drop the left knee down. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the ground, flow. Y'all see what we're doing? You get a picture of the vibe here. Same exact flow. Picking up the pace. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step through. Drop the right knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the ground. Flow from there. From downward facing dog, inhale. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop. Top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant the palms, step back, and float your way back to down dog. And the flow is largely optional. You can always just step right back to your dog pose. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through, drop the knee down. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Exhale, pyramid. Maybe no arms. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Add on warrior 3. Hands slide to the heart. Lean out, balance. From warrior 3, rise all the way to a stork pose. Pull the left knee into the chest as you stand. And then a little challenge, figure 4. Cross the left ankle over the right knee and sink the hips low. Sink the hips low. If you want, you can kind of fold over the left shin, as I'm doing. But that's because I'm kind of creating a hip stretch. And then if you fold over, it becomes more of a stretch for the left outer hip, which sometimes feels nice. Let's rise back up to stork. Left knee pulls into the chest. Arms up into warrior 3. Left leg reaches back. From warrior 3, we're headed to warrior 2. So we let the left toes land. We gently rotate the left heel down. And we open the arms. Warrior 2. Breathe for a moment. Take a little bit of a deeper bend into the right knee. Reverse the triangle. Take an inhale. Triangle pose. Take an exhale. Begin breathing at your own pace for the Trikonasana. It doesn't have to be the deepest one. Just our first one for the day, I'm guessing, unless you've been doing triangle pose all day. First one for me. From here, take an inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. Turn to face forward. Drop the left knee down. Wiggle the right foot wider. Lizard lunge twist. With an optional quad stretch. And my advice, or I guess my suggestion rather, is to go for the quad stretch. And if you're unable to bind your right hand to your left foot or ankle, then still go for the quad stretch. There's value in trying to do things that we can't yet do. And by practicing this posture without actually binding, you get yourself closer to binding in the future. And also you build some really good strength and you still stretch into the quads. So don't be discouraged if the bind isn't there yet. In fact, be happy because it gives you something really cool that you can work towards over the next few months. If you have the bind, let it go. Okay, so keep the right hand up to the sky. Tuck the left toes under. Lift the left knee. We're in this revolved side angle now. And then we're going to step to side plank. So the right foot reaches back to side plank. And then you have the option of stepping the right foot just over and behind of the left leg for a wild thing. Finding length in the right side body as you press the right balls of the foot into the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale. Slowly close it off to plank pose. And then from plank pose, it's your flow or non-flow to bring you back to down dog. And we're only doing that one time. So let's do it one time on the other side. Left leg to the sky. Step the left foot through. Exhale. Drop the knee. Inhale, arms up for your low crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down for pyramid. Inhale for high crescent lunge, bending into the front left knee. Exhale, slide the hands through heart center, lean out, warrior 3. Stork pose, pull the right knee into the chest, lift the arms. Add on a little balance challenge, figure 4 squat. And if you want to add on the forward fold like me, it is totally up to you. Give yourself 2 breaths. Rise back up to stork pose, pull the right knee into the chest. Warrior 3, reach the right leg back in space. As we head to warrior 2, try to land just the big toe, and then rotate the heel down, and then open the arms, warrior 2. Reverse the triangle when you get here, extending through all legs. And triangle will extend through all of your legs. Extend through both of your legs. Triangle pose. And just like in pyramid pose, I invited us to invite the front quad muscles to the party. Same in triangle, because triangle is really basically pyramid pose, just with open hips. And we start to see over time in our yoga practice that all of these poses, they all have elements of one another. So as we get more proficient at one pose, we are actually getting more proficient and aware in all poses. And that's kind of a gratifying thing. All right, bring the left hand down to the mat, turn the hips to face forward, drop the right knee down, and then twist the left arm up to the sky. Your twisted lizard lunge with an optional quad stretch. And again, why not go for the quad stretch? There are so little yoga poses that lengthen the quad muscles, and there are so many poses that strengthen the quad muscles. So it's really nice to give the body a counter pose to all that contraction in the quads. We get to stretch and lengthen. Release the bind if you have it. Come to this revolved side angle by tucking the toes under, lifting the right knee off the mat and twisting the left arm up. And then embrace the weight on your right hand. Step back to plank, side plank rather, on the right hand, with the option to step the left foot over for a little wild thing experience. Take an inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, begin to close it off and flow your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, take a child's pose. Goodness gracious, all of that. We finally get a child's pose. Slow it down. Come back to center. Dolphin pose. You could, of course, stay in child's pose instead, or you could stay in child's pose for a few more breaths. But for dolphin pose, forearms on the ground. I'm going to do it with hands in prayer position this time, but you can also have your palms facing down on the mat. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up. Try to find a lot of height in the hips. If you are working on forearm balance, you can play with forearm balance here, but I'm just going to stick with a dolphin pose today. I always have a little natural rounding in my spine in dolphin, so y'all already know the vibes. To counteract that, I bend the knees, and that allows me to lengthen the spine a little bit more. I don't think my spine is fully straight, but at least it's got that new intention. Alright, so we'll be here in dolphin for 10. Push the ground away. Push your head far away from the ground for 9. Awareness in the hips, lifting to the sky for 8. Here for 7. For 6. 5. 4. Keep pushing away. Keep breathing for 4. 3. 2. Listen carefully. On 1, we're headed to forearm planks. We're going to walk the feet back. Might have to wiggle the forearms forward. And then we're here in forearm plank doing a little hip dip. So dip the hips to the left, dip the hips to the right, dip the hips left, dip the hips right. We're going to keep going for 20, 19, 18, 17. You got this, and even if you don't, we still love you. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, drop the knees first, and then come to the belly as we lay down for crocodile pose. Sorry if you're hearing fuzziness in the mic. I didn't want to lay down on the microphone. So for crocodile pose, what we do is we stack one forearm over the other, relax the shoulders, and then rest the forehead on top of the top forearm. You can allow your heels to roll out to the side corners of your mat and let the hips be heavy. Let the forehead rest. Allow the neck muscles to relax. Oh, hello, spider friend. We got a little spider walking across. Coming onto the, oh, you want to come onto the mat. Honestly, you can chill here. I'm not mad at you being here, but if you could stay off the mat, that'd be cool though. Yeah. So my friend, this is actually where we're going to end our practices in this crocodile pose, Makrasana. And so you could stay here. You could adjust your arms if you prefer a different variation. And I actually recommend staying here in Makrasana for several breaths and then eventually laying down on your back for Shavasana. The nice thing about this crocodile pose on the belly is that it almost requires the body to breathe diaphragmatically, breathe into the abdominal region. So see if you can embrace that sensation of the belly expanding into the ground on the inhales, and then the whole body relaxing into the ground on the exhales. Stay here for several minutes. Again, you can add on your Shavasana if you wish at the end. But I wanted to leave you here so that you can be in this Makrasana crocodile pose for as long as you want, because it's a really nice place to be. Just make sure you're relaxing your shoulders and your neck. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me for another great practice. It's always a blessing to be here to share space with you all. Have a blessed day. I hope to see you soon. Much love, everybody. Peace.